Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Today a rather dark topic, Harry's mental health, which is why I have the Tarot of the Abyss on the tarot table for this reading. And if you are triggered by these kinds of topics, please click off and please take care of yourself and go and do something that lifts you up, makes you happy. I'm looking at a story that's doing the rounds on social media. It's come from various YouTube channels that are known for, shall we say, being rather creative in their stories regarding Harry and Meghan. And the story is that allegedly Harry has been hospitalized in recent days following an attempt, shall we just say. As I say, it's not coming from credible sources. It's not being recorded on any mainstream media and so I'm taking it with a large pinch of salt, but I'm going to look at it today because it's interesting that in recent times Harry and Meghan have hired a whole new social media team or a whole new communications team known, according to Neil Sean, for their disruptive tactics, and maybe this is part of that. So we're going to have a look at that. Maybe it's an attempt to play the petty card with the king. We've seen some quite manipulative stories in the past few days. I read on a couple just yesterday, so that old emotional blackmail thing that I was looking at yesterday springs to mind as a possible explanation for this story. It could also just be that it's this team trying to discredit the Megxit community, basically people who are critical of Harry and Meghan. And it's one of the ways that they're trying to undermine all of us, basically. So, as I say, I'm making it very clear that I think this is not coming from a credible source, this story. But I do believe that Harry has, at least in the past, had some quite serious mental health problems that possibly the royals are aware of. And possibly that's one of the reasons why he has an ex-royal protection officer with him at all times. Sometimes he has been described as Harry's only friend, that guy Dave somebody or other. I think his name is Dave Langdon or something. I'm not sure. I can't recall right now. Anyway, as I said, I'm looking at this. I'm going to ask how Harry is and whether he has recently been in any difficulty, shall we just say, hospitalized. And we're going to ask who's behind this story and why are we hearing it suddenly now, what the royals think of it, one more shuffle, and whether they've had any previous experience of this kind of activity, behavior, trouble, and where Harry's mental health is heading, just generally. I think I'm allowed to ask these questions because he is very loud about his mental health and his mental health struggles and this therapy that he is in constantly. And so I think that, as I say, this is a topic that can be looked at from an energy perspective. And let's remind you, very important that I remind you, this is just tarot and it is for entertainment purposes. It is all opinion, my opinion. It is all speculation. I look at the energy around these kinds of wild rumors and stories to see what universe wants us to know. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. So underlying energy is the Four of Pentacles. It's the control card. It's a blocked energy, always the pentacle in front of the heart chakra. So blocking off feelings, being shut off emotionally, closed down, being very concerned about your own security and your own stability, and thinking that that comes really from the material world. So I'm not getting the energy in reverse, which would be a kind of a loss of control, being destabilized. I'm getting more that this is the energy of someone who is really quite blocked. For all he says that he's the one who's open and expressing his emotions and all of that stuff, who's hanging on, almost like hanging on to his sanity. And I need to make it very clear that I am not a mental health expert. I am not diagnosing. I'm doing an energy reading, a tarot reading. But the Four of Pentacles does have that kind of idea, that particularly the way this dark tarot, this tarot of the abyss, is depicting this energy of someone who's blocking their whole self with this pentacle, and sort of peeping out from behind it. It's giving me the idea of someone that's really not comfortable at all with where they are right now in their own skin, in their own lives. This kind of lurking and skulking energy and hiding energy, which is not normal for the Four of Pentacles. Yes, blocked, but not to the extent that it's showing in this card. So it's uncomfortable energy for me as an energy reader. Very uncomfortable energy, but it's not chaotic. It's warding off the chaos and not opening up. Situation we're dealing with, that's our underlying energy. What are we dealing with? We're dealing with the Ten of Cups. That's the happy, happy, happy card. That is the faking it card for me as an energy reader when I'm dealing with this kind of energy that, oh, everything's great, we're so happy, we've just been to Disneyland, and here are the littles on Instagram, and see Harry laughing and see Harry laughing some more. It's not that convincing, the Ten of Cups. It's more like, let's pretend and let's hope that by pretending we can actually make it so. So I'm not getting happy energy here, not with the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. I'm getting, there might be things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So let's check in now and see how Harry's doing mental health wise, just generally, just asking the question. And we've got the Wise One, which is the Hierophant. So that is interesting, the way it's depicted in this Tarot of the Abyss. I haven't used this tarot deck for a very long time, so these cards are showing up, the artwork on them showing up is quite surprising to me. And the Wise One, as I say, is the Hierophant, the teacher, the High Priest, the Pope, it can be the royal family, but it's that link between the spirit world and the material world, the Hierophant, the Wise One. I think that he's gone down a road of quite alternative medicine. And we know he has, because he's spoken openly about using medicinal herbs for journeys and healing and stuff like that. So no surprises there. But he's also spoken quite often in the past year or so about his interactions with those elders in Canada in particular that he met through Invictus when it was held in Canada. He's talked about them quite a lot. He's talked about truth. He's talked about reconciliation. I think that he is doing quite a lot of ceremony. This is my wild speculation, fueled by the energy and the artwork on that tarot card. Artwork is energy, of course. I think he's doing quite a lot of that kind of alternative healing and ceremony and things like that, retreats, those kinds of things. Nothing wrong with any of that. Of course, if you have got serious mental disorders or even illnesses, Harry, I don't know, as I say, I'm not a mental health professional. I don't know what his actual situation is. I'm just reading energy and I'm getting that. That is not someone who's in terrible trouble. That is someone who's exploring possibly different ways of healing. Okay, making that very clear. Has he been hospitalized recently? What's going on there? And I've got the Six of Swords and it's in reverse. That's a very difficult card. The Six of Swords upright. You're moving on from some mental turmoil. You're finding a calmer place, healing. especially with swords being mental energy, that's, you know, a sea of troubles, as Hamlet, I think. Am I misquoting Shakespeare? Most likely I am. But it's moving on from that when the card is upright. It tells me that he has had some difficulty in the recent past with the Six of Swords in reverse. So there might be a little drop of truth in this, not to the extent I personally don't think with what we've been hearing on social media, but I do think that he is unable to heal. He's stuck. The Six of Swords in reverse is a stuck energy, being stuck in conflict, being stuck in unhappiness and misery and conflict, basically mental conflict, your own conflict. It doesn't have to be conflict with other people. So there is something that's going on here. There is something. But his own energy that's coming through everywhere else is of this putting on a brave face, clinging on to mental health, going on these alternative journeys. So I'm not getting crisis and disaster. I'm getting wobbles. That's how it's reading for me. Let's look at the source of this rumour and see if we can figure out anything around that. We've got the Star in reverse. The Star in reverse, this is not why, this is who, okay? Star is a card of healing and faith and purpose and hope, and it's in reverse, and it's coming through as very strong female energy. And my guess with that card is it's coming from very close to home. Let's put it like that. That energy of almost frustration, despair, of just difficulty of, do I keep having to deal with this person who is so engrossed almost or obsessed with their own mental struggles and with their own healing journey that they don't really have time and energy for anything else. It's a difficult energy, the Star. If I got it over here, I would have been very, very concerned. I'm not that concerned still, I have to say, because it's coming through, the energy is coming through as more frustrated than in a panic and I don't know what to do. If there was something really serious going on, surely the royal family would have been informed and something major would have happened, a major intervention would have happened. This is coming across differently for me. It's reading differently. So let's see why this story, if we can figure that out. Asking energy, and I've got the Devil, and it's in reverse. And again, I'm getting a similar energy with the Star in reverse. The Devil is addiction, obsession, difficulty, being stuck in a situation that you find very toxic. I say it over and over and over. I say it every day because the Devil shows up just about every day at the moment in these readings. This story is coming out, in my opinion, because there is frustration again with the situation that is toxic and difficult, and there is a desire to leave the situation. And I was thinking yesterday, after I did the readings, I was thinking, can you imagine being married to Harry? How difficult it must be. However you feel about Meghan herself and the kind of person she is and the way she's treated her family and the royal family and the public and the alleged deception that many people speculate she has perpetrated on the public and the royal family, still, I would not want to be in her very large shoes, married to someone as difficult as Harry. That's my personal opinion that I'm expressing. And I'm getting here that there is just tremendous frustration with how difficult he is and how negative the situation is and how toxic it is and how difficult it is for her to leave, because it will just make her look so bad if he really has got serious problems and she's put him into a situation where he's cut off from all his support systems and possibly cut off from the medication he was on when they met. That's a long repeated rumour that she and Doria might have encouraged him off his medication and put him onto other less traditional or less Western medication. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot, and none of it is good, shall we just say. Royal family, how concerned are they about this story, if at all, if they know anything? 9 of Pentacles, that's a harsh energy, oh my. It's a very independent, you're on your own, mate. This is the bed you made, this is the bed you lie on. It's the independent card, on your own. It's not negative, it's just you chose this path, good luck. I'm quite shocked by it. Okay, so let's have a look at past. Have there been past moments, difficulties, crises that they've had to deal with before Meghan came along and took him off and made this very difficult energy, in my opinion, for herself, with the Star in reverse and the Devil in reverse? Past episodes, we got the Strength card. That tells me, because it's a card of wellness when it's upright, but it's also the royal family. It tells me that when he was under the umbrella of the royal family, it was managed. There were mental health problems, if there were dramas, if there were moments, big wobbles, he was protected. It's interesting that the energy that's coming through in there is Princess of Wales, and we've always heard that her interest in mental health comes, of course, from her own brother's difficulties with depression and so on, and also those kinds of attempt energies, as well as her interactions with Harry and her concern for Harry. I just think that he was better looked after there in that environment. And now, good luck. You chose this path. Let's see how you go. And you've got to do that sometimes with people, however difficult it is. So where is Harry's mental health heading? Just open-ended question. What's going on here? And I've got the 2 of Cups in reverse. Okay, this is the energy that has been dominant in this reading for me, is of this desire, I speculate, Meghan's energy, to leave, to withdraw from the situation because it is so difficult and so overwhelming and so not the kind of energy she wants to be in as she becomes a billionaire. Cough, cough. It's a separation card. It's a collapse of a relationship. It's a breakup card. It's going to get worse if this support system that she has built around him disappears. She leaves him alone. Then he's in big trouble. And you know, we keep hearing these stories that he's very afraid that she is going to walk out on him and leave him alone, and then what? So that energy is confirming it for me. Some interesting cards in here, some interesting energy. I'm not getting the level of difficulty that has been told to us, but I'm getting a sense that he is not shifting his energy into a better place, that it potentially could be trouble ahead. He's maybe doing some alternative stuff. The dominant energy is in here is fed up. Odd reading. I have to stress, my opinion, my energy reading, and I am not a mental health expert, and I'm not presenting myself as one. So there you go, something to watch, obviously. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.